2, Jeff Koinange live here with the Secretary General of Kenya Red Cross, Abbas Gullet. Tweets, like I said, coming in so thick and so fast. Ahmed Mohammed, a.k.a. Asmali, he says, brilliant discussion on JKL Live and an awesome job by the Red Cross and Dr. Abbas Gullet. I spent the better part of the last 24 hours at the Chiromo mortuary, he says. The Kenya Red Cross guys are just amazing. Most of them are selfless volunteers. That is the Kenya spirit. Instigator Alvin says, Jeff, ask Mr. Secretary General if one wants to be a volunteer at the grassroots or at the Red Cross, what are the requirements one needs to have?
Is to join our local branch of Red Cross. In Nairobi, we have 3 branches. One in Karen for Karen Langata area, one in Parkland for the Parkland area, and one in Nairobi Central that does Eastlands and Nairobi Central. It's just to go and become an ordinary member. Once you join to become an ordinary member, then you are trained depending on your skills. We have doctors, engineers, drivers, logisticians, accountants, lawyers. It doesn't matter your profession. Any profession would be useful and is welcome, and we move on from there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's get to the board, Monica. I'm sure we have many tweets, huh? Coming in thinking about, oh my goodness. The first one, President Paul Kagame. He says, President Uhuru Kenyatta, my thoughts and prayers are with our Kenyan brothers and sisters and all those affected by the reprehensible terrorist attack in Nairobi. Poleni sana kwa msiba huu. Rwanda and Africa stand in solidarity with Kenya in the fight against terror. Thank you very much, Mr. President. Moses Tirimu, you say, this man, Mr. Abbas Gullet, Kenya, will forever feel your presence, sir. Thank you. K. Jeremiah N, you say, Abbas Gullet has more to do for the upcoming generations in the form of developing the humanitarian sector in Kenya. Part of that should include working other stakeholders to make the government of Kenya have a disaster management act and a disaster policy.
It's in the works. It's almost been completed through the Ministry of Interior and through Parliament, both houses. So this is work in progress, and hopefully it will see the light of the day sooner than we expect.
Ah, okay. On working. Thank you. Okimuluo, you say Abbas Gullet is also highly commendable. He's brave, fearless when it comes to response to disasters. He never gets tired in serving or rescuing humanity. I said that myself. He never gets tired. Pinganga 35. I salute you and the entire Red Cross. How can I join the Red Cross? You already answered that.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Susie Telle. When we give our best to other people, we are giving our best to God. He sees and he will multiply the seeds you've sown. Red Cross and the police officers, you did a nice job. May God reward you. Lovely. While you're getting that ready, can I read one of mine? Oh, you have SMSs? Okay. Kennedy Matete, you say, Abbas is a great leader and my role model as I worked with him in the Red Cross. Okay. Remember him?
Mm-hmm. Young man?
Yeah.
Well done.
Okay. Beatrice in Nairobi says, this country needs more men like Abbas, a selfless man who puts his life at risk to save people. May God bless you with many more years to spread the gospel through your action. Kudos. And Kibet Joel in Langata says, well done, Abbas Gullet. You are a great man. I got a couple more here, if I can get to it. Kip Koech Cherwiot says, kindly pass my gratitude to the SG. In many occasions, he has put his life in danger to save others. That's true service to humanity. He may not be awarded an HSC or other awards, but surely God will reward him. Oh, man. Enoch Kilile, indeed a true hero. Well done. Lidoro Jr. says, describing all the personnel on the ground who saved lives during yesterday's terror attack as heroes and heroines is an understatement. I just can't find the right adjective to describe this magnificent group of individuals. If you weren't doing humanitarian work, and you just mentioned you've been doing it for 4.5 decades plus, nearly half a century.
Yes.
What would you be doing if not this?
I don't know. I would probably be like many other kids, dreams when I was at a tender age was to be a hotelier. But like I said once before, I don't own a hotel, but the Red Cross own a hotel that we run today. So I'm linked to that.
Yeah.
At one point, you say you want to be a medical doctor. I'm not a medical doctor, but I work in that field where I work with doctors to address these challenges. So for me, you know, one can be anything he or she wants in life, Jeff. But I think Kenya as a nation can be the leader on this continent in many fields. The solidarity that President Kagame has just shown now to President Kenyatta is something that I think we could be very proud and very happy about. What Kenya is learning through this hardship of these challenges, Kenya can help other countries on this continent.
Yeah.
Both in response from a security perspective, but even from a humanitarian perspective, because we just need to build the bigger continent of Africa. But charity for us begins at home. I think the issue of policy, the issue of systems and procedures, I think, like I said, that are in works. I know there are two senators and a former member of parliament have been pushing the policy issue, Senator Mutula Kilonzo and Sakaja, and Tia Galgalo, who was a member of parliament before. Now the matter has gone to, you know, from Senate, they're trying to work now with parliament to really have the policy. Because with a policy, then you put a framework, there's this whole mechanism of responsible organization to run these arms of government, to coordinate with humanitarian actors. This is what's happening now in many countries. Countries like Turkey or countries like Indonesia, because of the various disasters, both terrorism and natural disasters they are prone to every year, tsunamis, cyclones and all that, they have learned in putting up systems and procedures and coordination mechanisms. I think this is what the government is really working on. And now, hopefully, this year, 2019, this whole policies and necessary tools and framework, legal framework that's required will be put in place so that we can really perfect this and really then work with our neighbors in the regions through the IGAD process and many other processes that we can really, there must be a Kenyan solution to a Kenyan problem. If we are going to expect for any Tom, Dick and Harry to come from outside to build this nation for us, then we're wasting our time. So we are responsible, but the same way in the continent, we must also be willing to share the knowledge and experience throughout the continent that we are learning as a nation through this hardship.
Yeah. You mentioned Israel a moment ago. Remember former Israeli ambassador JKL Villain?
Yes.
Remember him?
Yes.
He also sent a message wishing Kenyans all the very best because, you know, they're so familiar with things like this.
We had a message this morning from the Israeli Red Cross who worked with us in the mass casualty incident protocol and procedures. They were very amazed yesterday on how that actually worked. And they're telling us to give them feedback on the learnings and how things went well. So the Israelis have been very good friends on that one in terms of trainings and putting systems and procedures up.
Yeah. Abu from Uganda is asking you, what kind of clay are people like Abbas Gullet molded from?
Same like any other person. Nothing new, nothing special, nothing different. It's just the whole issue of commitment and belief in what you've been tasked to do. I'm a public servant. I say to my colleagues in Kenya Red Cross, my employer is a vulnerable person in this country. Those are my employers. When a disaster strikes, it's because of them that I have the job that I have. And it's because of them I get the daily bread that I have. And it's because of them that I need to be out there. And for 1 minute, I should not pretend that, you know, the title SG is just a title. I'm the person who's sitting there today. Tomorrow will be something else. So for the time I'm in this position, my job is to mold, to train, to mentor young colleagues that actually are today the ones running Kenya Red Cross.
Yeah. Finally, Clive Moses is asking, should first aid be taught in schools?
I would say in every school, in every home. Many years ago, in the early years of independence, the first African chair or governor of the board of Kenya Red Cross is none other than Mr. Charles Rubia. When he was Assistant Minister for Education in the early 60s, it was mandatory then in all schools to teach first aid, but also in all teacher training colleges. So when as teachers coming out of school, teaching school, whether primary or secondary, or universities, they have been trained basic first aid. Every Kenyan, every home, in my desire and wish and dream would be a day when every home has a trained first aider, every home has a first aid kit, every car in this country driven has a first aid kit, every matatu, every bus, every train, everything that is moving on wheels must have first aid. By law, the law in this country, labor laws and Factories Act, is any company with more than 20 people, the 21st, there must be one trained in first aid and there must be a first aid kit in the industry or the factory. If today we were to do this, an accident occurs on the road, before even first responders come, you become the first responder. For life-threatening 3 to 4 minutes, someone can lose their lives. The tons of road accidents we have around this country, if every bus driver, if the passengers had basic first aid knowledge, they would be the first responders.
And they would save more lives.
They save more lives. And handle, if you know, it's not even the number, Jeff, of people who die road accident every year, the 3 to close to 4,000. It is the 20, the 50, the 60,000 that are permanently or partially disabled. Men and women at their prime age, we are losing thousands every year who are not able to be part of the economy, to be working in factories and industries at their prime age. So because of lack of appropriate response, even in terms of policies, the ambulances you saw yesterday and today, we have been working with the Ministry of Health and all the actors to streamline even the whole emergency ambulance, pre-hospital care, to have world-class standards. Today, globally, you have 2 standards: basic life ambulance and advanced life ambulance. Advanced life ambulance is a moving ICU, Jeff. Okay? And there's no reason why not every Kenyan cannot have those world-class services delivered to them here. There were ambulances that move just with siren and with nothing, not properly trained people, not properly equipped, and the policy is basically ready for the minister to really officially announce, so that then a regulatory body is also set up and a framework that can regulate our first responders also in the future. Then, you know, we would move to the next level as a nation in terms of first response. And that is crucial. So continuous improvement in how we approach not only disaster management in the buildings, like yesterday. An example would be, Jeff, not only in Dusit, 14 Riverside, but even Westgate or any other property, even here in Citizen. Have the staff been trained? Do we know emergency exit? Do we have a disaster management plan in this property here? So when something happens, whether it's fire or earthquake or whatever it is, or terrorist attack, how do we get you out? Who will be in command? How many floors do you have? Every floor has to have a warden who would be the last one to leave, to head count everybody. High-rise towers, we saw many years ago, International Life House and other tall building getting on fire. You know, 15th floor, 20th floor. Yeah. So, and then up there and in between the lower floors, people can come down. Lifts are working, not working. How do you get off? So really, this whole issue of disaster preparedness and disaster response is something that is not only for government, but even property owners and all employers must take this thing more seriously than we have done in the past as a nation.
Abbas Gullet, I hope you're not planning to retire anytime soon.
Very soon I will, for sure.
And do what?
Go farming probably, or go fishing. I had my good friend Atwoli saying, how come I'm still there all those many years, when some people are questioning him, why is he still in this job?
Yes.
And I thank him for saying I'm doing a good job, so I should stay. But I think time will come when young men and young women who we say are the present leaders in the future, we must give them also the opportunity to take over this leadership.
Sure.
We can't be here for eternity.
In the meantime, keep doing what you do, my friend.
And I don't have to be the SG of Red Cross to do what I have to do. I can do it out there as a volunteer to the Red Cross.
There you go.
Yes.
Well done.
Thank you.
Abbas Gullet, folks. This man, I tell you, he has the energy and he has the passion. And yes, he does it every time they call him. He's up to the task and more. What a man. What a hero. This is what we call true Kenyan. Daima Mkenya. Stand by. Speaking of Daima Kenya, in the meantime, thanks so much for being a part of this show. You remember every Wednesday, the place to be is right here on the program, where 3 letters follow each other, namely JKL. Every Wednesday from 9 o'clock onwards. And tomorrow morning from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., join Professor Hamo and myself on the hottest breakfast show in all of Africa. We call it Jeff and Hamo on Hot. In the meantime, one thing that is likely to remain in the memories of Kenyans for a long time is the courage of the officers and armed civilians who took on terrorists at the Dusit Hotel, the first responders. Here now are some of the faces of those that stood to be counted with the music bed of my good friend Eric Wainaina and the song Daimam Kenya. Take a listen. Good night, everybody. Good luck and God bless.